Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Does It Make Sense? This is the show where we break down businesses, startup strategy, the psychology of money, operational excellence, and everything in between. And at the end of every episode, we will answer the one question every entrepreneur, investor, and decision maker eventually has to ask: Does it make sense? Today's episode is titled The Cloud Kitchen Fallacy. Everyone thinks removing the restaurant is the shortcut to bigger profit. But what if eliminating the dining room doesn't eliminate the costs? It simply replaces them with even more expensive problems. Let's find out. So, I've been watching how we build startups in Nigeria lately, and I've noticed a really dangerous trend. We've become entirely obsessed with the elegance of software while completely ignoring the absolute friction of physical reality. Founders look at a traditional restaurant. They see the crazy real estate costs and assume that stripping away the physical building is the ultimate shortcut to making big money. They see a restaurant in Lekki or Wusetu paying tens of millions in annual rent, buying furniture, hiring waiting staff, and keeping a massive dining hall air conditioned. And they think that's the inefficiency. Let's get rid of the storefront, put the kitchen in a cheaper, hidden location, build a slick app, and capture pure profit. On paper, it sounds like an elite low-cost strategy, but it's a total mirage. And that's exactly what brought me to a major piece of news shaking up the food tech space right now. Food Court, the prominent Nigeria cloud kitchen startup that everyone was cheering on, has officially suspended operations across Lekki, Obanikoro, and Abuja. They hit a massive wall with mounting debts, unpaid suppliers, and kitchen staff going on strike over delayed salaries. Now, when a darling of the ecosystem halts operations like this, the tech blogs love to just blame the funding winter or general macroeconomic shocks and leave it there. But we have to look deeper. We have to ask the real question: does it make sense to eliminate the physical dining room if the hidden costs of digital survival, hyperinflation, and logistics end up costing you far more than a traditional landlord ever would? Let's break down why this model is facing a massive crisis in Nigeria right now. Because it isn't just one single thing, it's a brutal combination of forces. First, let's talk about the math behind dropping physical spaces. When you get rid of a physical storefront, you don't actually eliminate your overhead. You just swap it for a different, highly unpredictable set of expenses. In behavioral economics, there's a concept called salience. I mentioned this in the last episode. It basically means human beings naturally default to what is visually in front of them. A physical storefront is your marketing. People walk or drive past it every day. They see the sign, they smell the food. The rent you pay actually doubles as your customer acquisition cost. But when you're a cloud kitchen, you are entirely invisible. You have zero physical presence. You exist only as a tiny icon on a smartphone screen, buried under 50 other options. To get anyone to even notice that you exist, your customer acquisition costs skyrocket. You have to spend an absolute fortune on digital ads and constant discounting just to buy eyeballs. You didn't actually escape paying rent. You just stopped paying a local landlord and started paying Mark Zuckerberg and Google. That's the truth about it. And unlike a lease, which is a fixed cost that you can budget for, digital ad rates spike unpredictably the moment the market gets crowded. Then you hit the macroeconomic vice grip. Cloud kitchens are low margin, high volume games. They only work if thousands of orders are rolling through the app every single day to cover the fixed costs of heavy kitchen equipment, software maintenance, and professional staff. But look at Nigeria today. Hyperinflation has pushed raw food ingredients like poultry, rice, cooking oil, etc. through the roof. At the exact same time, customer purchasing power is going down. When the middle class is squeezed, ordering food on an app is the very first thing to go. People start cooking at home or buying cheaper open market alternatives. Your volume drops. And in a business that requires high volume to survive, the moment your orders drop while your ingredient costs are soaring, your cash flow evaporates. That's how you end up unable to pay food suppliers and meeting salary obligations until the kitchen staff literally walk out. And then on top of food inflation, you have to layer on the absolute beast that is logistics. Tech founders love to look at logistics as just a plug and play feature of their software. But operating logistics is an entire, fully fledged and extremely complex business on its own. It's not just an add-on. What usually happens is this. A startup starts out using third-party delivery companies. Then after a few weeks of mishaps here and there, the founder gets entirely frustrated. He says, to hell with these third-party apps. They are ruining our brand. We are bringing delivery in-house. We'll buy our own bikes and hire our own riders. And that is almost always the exact moment the trap snaps short. They take logistics in-house and run straight into what economists call transaction cost economics, a theory pioneered by my main guy, Ronald Coase. Coase argued that a company should only bring an operation in-house if it actually reduces friction and overhead costs. If managing that operation internally creates more administrative chaos, regulatory headaches, and capital drain than buying or sourcing it from the open market, you are destroying value. And that's exactly what happens. Now, you're not just managing chefs and software developers, you are managing a fleet of bikes in Lagos or Abuja traffic, for example. You are dealing with volatile fuel prices, constant mechanical breakdowns, riders disappearing mid-shift, and local government task forces seizing your bikes on the highway. Within months, the startup's internal delivery system is running worse and costing more than the third-party company that they were originally frustrated about. But look, I entirely understand why founders make that mistake. Because in the real world, the end customer doesn't care about economic theories. Even if a delivery delay is 100% the fault of an independent logistics company, the customer doesn't know them. They know you. Your name is on the app. When the experience fails, you take the hit to your reputation. Look, I live this reality every single day. I run an ice cube manufacturing factory in Abuja. And let me tell you for free, the most stressful part of my entire operation isn't the physical production, the manual labor, or dealing with the unreliability of power supply. I mean, Power is a very close second, sha. But the absolute most head spinning part of the business is sorting out deliveries and dealing with worked up customers when their item hasn't arrived on time. And it's uniquely frustrating because you are racing against a biological and thermodynamic clock, what I call rapid value decay. If you're delivering shoes or clothes, those items have a shelf life of years. If the rider gets stuck in traffic for 2 hours, the clothes don't spoil, the shoes don't spoil. But with ice or with hot food, you have a microscopic window before the product structurally decays. 2 hours on a hot sunny afternoon in Abuja or Lagos, and your rider isn't delivering a premium pack of ice anymore. He's delivering an expensive plastic bag full of warm water. Now, some people may look at this and say, okay, this analogy makes sense for premium, fancy sit down restaurants. But what about mass market fast food setups? What about a giant like Chicken Republic? Now, if you look closely at Chicken Republic's model, it actually proves this thesis even more deeply. They are the ultimate example of why a hybrid physical first model wins. First, Chicken Republic applied that transaction cost theory perfectly. They aggressively outsourced the logical beast. They realized their core competency is high speed manufacturing of affordable chow, not fleet management. Instead of building internal logistics, they let platforms like Chowdeck and Glovo burn their own investor capital, managing thousands of riders, while Chicken Republic focuses purely on the kitchen. Second, they understand the power of physical presence as a low-cost tool to win customers. Their standard outlets, especially their compact express kiosks at fuel stations, act as highly visible billboards. Their customer acquisition cost is close to zero because you see their yellow sign every single day during your daily commute. And finally, they have the scale of a centralized supply chain to buffer against hyperinflation. They leverage massive volume deals directly with local farmers and poultry processors, insulating their margins when macroeconomic shocks hit. They use a combined approach. Their physical storefronts act as the foundational pillars that pay for the fixed overhead via steady foot traffic, while delivery apps act as a lucrative high margin layer of extra revenue stacked on top. So, what is the real lesson from the food court situation? It isn't that the cloud kitchen model is fundamentally dead. Rather, the lesson is that running a pure play digital kitchen without a physical footprint requires an intense level of operational discipline that is hard to sustain in this economy. When easy investor funding dries up, you can no longer use cash to hide the fact that winning a customer online costs more than the profit you make from a single meal. As Food Court's own management pointed out, this operational pause is a strategic retreat to restructure and fix their vulnerabilities. And I'm sure we can guess what those vulnerabilities are. The future of food tech in Africa isn't about completely replacing the physical infrastructure with digital code. It's about balance. The pure cloud kitchen model can actually work, but only if it's built on lean operating structures and heavy logistic partnerships from day one, rather than trying to scale a leaky bucket using venture subsidies. So I want to put this to you guys. Are you team A? Do you believe the pure cloud kitchen model can be rescued if a startup finally manages to crack the macro and logistics puzzle perfectly? Or are you team B? Do you think the physical brick and mortar footprint is a fundamental reality of human business that software can never optimize away? Let me know what you think in the comments, because to me, this isn't a battle of apps and code. It's a brutal reality check between the elegance of software design and the friction of moving parts on the ground. See you on the next episode.